All right, guys, it's finally here. I ordered it a while ago. Y'all saw the videos. 2022 Ram 1500 Laramie, four-wheel drive, off-road, air suspension, pretty loaded. About as much stuff you can put on a Laramie, not getting limited. Really like it so far. Yes, it's massive. It finally got a crew cab, and it has the decent sized bed on it, the regular sized bed, not the little 5-foot box everyone puts on crew cabs, and it looks all chody. So I like the look. That's the air suspension cranked up all the way. The air suspension gives you a lot of suspension adjustments, and the main reason I did it was for load leveling. So you put some on there, it levels itself. But we'll do a whole video on the suspension later on. Give you the details on this and tell you how it compares to the other Ram models. Obviously I read the whole owner's manual, did a ton of research last night after I got the truck, just to make sure I know what I'm talking about. If you want to know what you're talking about, read your manual. Don't go on the forums. Those guys are idiots. The manual's written by the people that made the truck. They know more. But yeah, so like it so far. Let me know what you guys want to see in the videos. We're taking the YXZ out to Holopaw today. That'll be its first ride at Holopaw. Continue the break-in, I'll say. Try to keep the RPMs down a little bit. But as soon as I put the YXZ on there, the truck leveled itself out, which is super nice. Keeps your headlights pointed the right way. Keeps your alignment right. So air suspension is really cool. That's the main reason I went with the Ram. The secondary reason was that it has the best transmission in the world, that ZF 8-speed that's in my Beamer and my Jeep and all that stuff. So really cool. We're gonna do another video on the interior. Give you a little sneak peek now, but it's really a gorgeous interior. Pretty similar to the other ones, but 2022 does get a new screen with a lot more features and a lot more RAM and wireless Android Auto, which is super cool. Got the AC seats finally. I missed those. Obviously, bench seat, because why would you not have a truck that can seat 6 people like a van? It's wide enough anyways, so that's cool. And then in the back is a full crew cab. First one of these I've ever had. So tons of space back here. You got like hilarious amounts of storage in the floor and stuff. These back seats recline, and that's the real party feature. Also, there's like suede in with the leather, and it's super sweet interior. But yeah, you pull this lever right here, and the bottom of the seat slides forward, and it gives you a nice reclined angle. You can see the difference from that seat, and you can be comfortable back here on a road trip, even as an adult. Fold those down for better visibility out of the back. You don't have passengers. Yeah, really happy with it so far. I've only put like 60 miles on it, but it's really quiet on the highway. This is the off-road, so the suspension stays up a little higher. So it does feel like it might be a little stiff and bouncy because, you know, it's the exact same suspension, I suspect, as the non-off-road. There's just different presets, so it's just a software change to make it ride an inch higher most of the time. Gas mileage is probably gonna be pretty poor, but whatever, you know. The main reason I got this truck was I needed to tow that trailer better, and I was sick of the wind noise in the Jeep. And towing a trailer in the Jeep in the mountains, it did fine with just a side-by-side, but with two side-by-sides or heavily loaded down, it was struggling a little bit in the mountains because it's got that little V6. So now I got a 5.7, around 400 horsepower, a lot more reasonable. And unlike my Silverado with the 6.2, you can run regular gas in these. Really should run mid-grade, but you can run regular. So that was all my logic for wanting this truck. The new Tundra's cool. Might get one eventually, but we'll see how it comes out. It's too new for me to risk it. If it was something Toyota had done before with like a carryover transmission and a carryover engine, I might have trusted it, but it's totally new. So let's other people test that out for me. This has been around for a little while. It's got a couple improvements for 2022, but it's mostly proven. I did not get the e-torque. I don't like that system on the Rams. I've heard of a few issues with my friends, and it doesn't seem to do a whole lot. And it's got front tow hooks, unlike the new Tundra. The off-road Tundra doesn't have front tow hooks, so what kind of use is that? Probably gonna take off this plastic splitter eventually, or let it take itself off, because that, even with it jacked up all the way with the suspension, it still loses some clearance. I need to get some floorboards for it. You can put it in entry-exit mode and drop it down 4 inches from this height. Literally 4 inches it'll drop down. It's astounding. We'll do that in a separate video, but even in that mode, it's kind of high to get in and out for older folks. But yeah, so let me know what you guys want to see video-wise. Obviously, we're going to take it off-road and do donuts and burnouts and all the other cultural things that I love so much. But if you have any ideas or questions, please comment below. One issue I found with it so far, they did not program it with the off-road pages. It says off-road on the bed. It doesn't have the off-road pages in the Uconnect system. So I'm sure that just needs an update. It is the brand new Uconnect system. This is one of the first 2022s to hit the lot. So they didn't program it right. Also, I bought this from Central Florida Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Don't recommend them at all. I already took off the stupid license plate frame. And the reason I don't recommend them is because they make you pay for this stupid Central Florida Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Advantage package. They require it on all their vehicles. It's $3,000. Let me show you what you get for $3,000. They even brag about it by hanging it on the windshield. You get paint and fabric protection, which is bullshit. They didn't do it. Surface sanitized, that's bullshit. Rain repellent, they didn't do that. Headlight protection, didn't do that. I've checked all the surfaces. Nothing's on this thing, and I don't want anything on it. Oh, you do get wheel locks, so you're paying $3,000 for wheel locks. You get nitrogen in your tires, and that's about it. So $3,000 for this bullshit. They didn't even want to put it on the truck. They put these little stickers on the door, if you can see that. It's a little clear, where are you gonna be able to see it? Right here, maybe? It's a little clear sticker, like an edge protector. There you go, you can see it there. And they didn't even put them on very well. There's like bubbles underneath them and stuff. And yeah, and they only get them on the front doors. So they charge you $3,000 for this Advantage, which is mandatory, which they tell you about after you order the truck. And then they don't even bother putting it on both the doors. I mean, what a freaking scam. I'll never buy anything from them again. The service was pretty good. The guys there were nice, but that policy is just bullshit. The only reason I went with them is because they're close to me, but never again. What a freaking waste of money. Anyways, I got the truck, I ordered it, and that's a feat in itself these days, is actually getting a truck and not waiting a year for it. So I'm happy I got it, but definitely would have gone with a different dealership that doesn't have a bunch of bullshit extra fees next time. So little Rammy's first time off-road at Holapaw. It did good on the dirt road, pulling the YXZ. It was a little choppy on the washboard, so I lowered it into aero mode and it softened up a little bit. But on the big whoops and stuff, and the big bumps, the suspension was very good. I was impressed. So I'm currently in two-wheel drive, and I'm going to demonstrate one of the best things about this truck. I can lock the rear axle in two-wheel drive, rear axle locked, while rolling. I'm not exactly sure what type of mechanism it uses. Probably something like the Ford, right? But the great thing about this is I didn't have to like come to a complete stop and put it in 4-low, and I've got full positive traction in the rear. And let's see if that's enough to get through the parking lot. It's a little sandy, but you know, this thing's got some pretty good all-terrain. It's spinning a little bit. You see the traction control light flashing? Oh yeah. Very premium. Wow, that is stunning. All right, so the Laramie is doing a little Holapaw drive on the dirt road. It's in the 6th gear, 35 miles an hour, 36 miles an hour, 1500 RPMs, and it's pretty smooth. I've got it set in aero setting, which is slightly softer than normal in this truck. You gotta remember, the way that it increases the ride height is just by increasing the amount of air pressure in the air shock, which means increasing the spring rate. I don't think anything really fancy. Here's a big dip. Let's see how it does. Oh yes, wow, that's really impressive. I don't think it does anything fancy with the valving in the shock as far as the dampening. It just increases the air pressure. So your lower settings will ride smoother. So I could have it in normal right now. I'm going too fast to have it in the off-road setting. But really smooth in here and very comfortable. AC seats feel great after a day of being on the sun on that thing. Yeah, this truck's pretty great. All right, so the Dodge is in off-road mode. That's its highest setting. If you have an off-road Dodge, it's off-road. If you have a different Dodge, it might be off-road 2. So we're gonna see how much travel we have. You can see there's a lot of space on top of the tire there. So we're gonna measure here. And see what we got. So right now, the bottom of the bumper is at 11.5 inches. Okay, and let's see this side. Bottom corner, that 11.5 inches. Now what we can do is take the key fob and put it into entry-exit mode, which just involves bleeding air out of the strut so the car doesn't have to be running. So you just press this twice. It'll beep and it'll lower itself. Hear that noise? That's it lowering the back, and then it lowers the front. It kind of staggers. Now the front's gonna go down again. It's significant. According to the manual, it's 4 inches it's dropping right now. See how much different that looks? Looks like the truck's lowered now. Back's still going down. It should beep again once it gets to the desired height, which I told it to go to. This was its lowest setting, 11.5, and now we're at 6.5. So that's pretty astounding. Wow. 5 inches of drop in the front? What? What? Let's measure both sides. Doesn't even seem right. 6 3/4. So 6 1/2. Yeah, so the front of the truck dropped more than 4 inches. Holy cow, that's awesome. That's a huge range of travel. Makes it really easy to get in and out of for people that don't like to jump because the seats are already kind of high. And then also makes it easier to put something in the bed. And you can also use this feature to unhook a trailer to save you so much jacking. It's very cool. There's also other modes you can select in there, change tire mode and all kinds of stuff. All right guys, so driving the Ram on the highway at 80. You can see that we're turning 2,200-ish RPMs. That's not great. That's because this thing has the 392 gears in it, or 395, something like that. 3.9 something gears. It's a pretty low gear for a V8 truck. So I'm turning a lot of RPMs on the highway, even though you can see I'm in 8th gear. So yeah, that's affecting my fuel economy. But as you can see, it drops down to 12 for even a small hill. So it's just not very efficient on the highway. This thing is an aero suspension setting, but its aero is still an inch higher than the aero on a non-off-road or non-rebel Ram. So it's pretty high off the ground at this point. It does have a little bit bigger tires, more rolling resistance, but it's totally unloaded right now. And that gas mileage is not impressive. So hopefully, as this thing breaks in, it'll be a little more efficient. But right now, it's looking like we're gonna get 13, 14, 15 on the highway at 80 unloaded. Also, I don't know if you can hear it. I'm gonna shut up so you can try to hear it, but there is a whistle coming from the windshield. That is really ticking me off. I say windshield, it's always hard to tell where whistles are coming from. It only starts happening about 70. You can barely hear it. Once you get about 80, it's noticeable, especially if kind of a gusty breeze. It's like a real high pitch. Everything about the truck, everything else is silent. You can't hear the tires at all. There's no road noise. You're far enough away from the road. The wind noise is good off the mirrors and everything else, but that whistle is something else. So it will be going back to dealership for that. And also because it's missing its off-road page. So it should say off-road control settings at the top, and the off-road is missing. So, yep. Those are the complaints so far. Otherwise, love it. The stereo's really awesome. Guess I could let you hear that for a sec. I'm not gonna be able to tell the bass with this phone, but a lot of bass, and I have everything neutral, right? Treble, bass, and mid. So I don't know where the subwoofer is, but it's there. I gotta find it.